What's up guys, Carmine here, and it's been a few days since the premiere of House of the Dragon, and so far the critics have been really enjoying the pilot, but as always, there is, oftentimes, a noticeable rift between what the critics are saying and how the viewers really feel, and that's where this video comes in. In my non-spoiler review, I asked you all to leave your thoughts in the comments below, and as such, I'll be taking what you guys said about the episode and featuring it here, along with my own personal thoughts. So let's get to it. Before that, this video was brought to you by NordPass, the service that helps keep your personal information, passwords, credit cards, whatever else, more in a safe location while you browse the internet. NordPass is the password manager designed with cybersecurity in mind. It doesn't just store all your passwords in one place and autofills them for you, it can generate new secure ones and monitors how effective they are later on. And if you're someone who likes to use the same account, whether it be Facebook or Google, to log into other websites, you don't have to worry. Because Nord researches the top 200 common passwords yearly and monitors for data breaches so you can take action as soon as possible. So what are you waiting for? Go on and check out NordPass.com and use the code RedTeamReview to get your exclusive 2-year plan plus an additional 4 months for free. Once again, that's NordPass.com/RedTeamReview, or use my code at checkout to get an exclusive 2-year plan plus an additional 4 months for free. Thank you, NordPass. So before we get to what you guys thought about it, I figured I'd give you my own spoiler-filled thoughts on the episode. Now that I've seen it 3 times, as I normally do, I have to say that I'm still firm on it being a very decent, bordering on good episode. Now keep in mind, that's not a mark against it or for it, I'm just very neutral on it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like the one thing that I needed for it to knock me out of the park. But that's not, once again, a bad thing. Also, I'm happy to report that the CGI dragons look a little better in the official release. You know how those review copies can be sometimes. But other than that, let's talk about the characters. The only ones I didn't have a definitive opinion on is Rhaenys and Alicent. That's mostly because we didn't get a lot of them in this episode, which I'm sure will change in the next one. But other than those two, everybody did a pretty good job, and I didn't have one complaint with any performance. People complained about Matt Smith's Daemon, and I thought he was actually pretty good. Rhaenyra is essentially Season 1 Arya, which is good, and thank the gods it's not cringy Season 7 Arya. The Corlys actor was also pretty good, but the main ones that stood out to me were King Viserys and his wife Emma. And on that note, I have to say, that scene where they needed to get the baby out, like, holy crap, that was so well done. But it made me a little uncomfortable, and not in a bad way. The look on her face, you know, when she realized what was about to happen, and, like, the panic. If I didn't know any better, it almost felt as though they were actually killing the actress on that bed. It's very well done. If anything, there were 2 things that kind of annoyed me during the entire episode, and it was the senseless, violent gore and brutality just sprinkled in here. And I get it, it's Game of Thrones, it's supposed to, like, you know, show you that this world just is needlessly and unnecessarily violent, and, you know, it's supposed to parallel the potential birth of a child with, you know, all this death going around. I get it, but I don't know, maybe I'm getting old and grumpy, but it just felt so boring. The other problem I had was, once again, this is all just very minor, minuscule issues, just me nitpicking, basically. Daemon and Christian Cole's fight, that editing was super choppy, but at the same time, I get it. It's 2 guys in armor beating the shit out of each other, and, you know, the stunt doubles have to be careful so they don't hurt each other. So I kind of get it, I forgive it. So far, my favorite scenes are the small council stuff. I love that in the original show, and I love it here, and the confrontation between Daemon and Viserys. Someone brought this up during the live stream, and I completely agree with it, but I would have loved if they did somewhat of a cool character moment for Daemon where it wasn't him who made the insult in the brothel, but it was his lover, Masara, and he's just covering for her. Daemon is a douchebag, but I'm kind of hoping they don't make him too unlikable, because I'm getting Jaime Season 1 vibes here, whereas I don't want him to be Jaime Season 1, I kind of want him to be Jaime Season 3, where he's only a jerk because everybody treats him like one. But we do have to talk about that final scene, the Song of Ice and Fire one, and I gotta say, that was so weird. Was it bad? I'm very ambivalent over it. It reminds me of that one joke from Family Guy where Peter loves it when they say the title of the movie in the movie. You know, like, now I must be Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Oh, that's why they say it. Like, that skit. Yeah, it's just, nah. It connects nicely to Game of Thrones, but after that last season, does anyone even really care about the White Walkers anymore? I heard this really interesting rumor about an alternate scene at the end of Season 8 where Tormund and Jon are riding beyond the wall, like they do in the final scene, and in the end credits, we have like a secret ending where they stumble upon a massacre site and there's dead bodies all over, like in the first episode of the show, revealing that they didn't really defeat the White Walkers. Like, it would have been a really cool twist ending that I think would have saved Season 8, and it would have been great here and would have added to this reveal, but it didn't happen, so whatever, I guess. Now let's get to what you guys thought about the episode, and we'll start with a positive comment. Christina here says, people are blown away by what exactly? Mediocre setup for a mediocre story, showing off mediocre characters? Absolutely nothing was impressive in this episode. Now I know what you guys are thinking, Carmine, that's not a positive comment at all. Well, you see, I actually know Christina, and the happiest moment of her life was 9/11, so by comparison, this is actually a glowing review. Next up is Carpe Idiom, who says, honestly, I was keeping my expectations quite low, and it certainly blew them away. It was fantastic. The acting, the writing, the visual aspects of the pilot were better than anything in the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. This was definitely a George was heavily involved type of situation. Well, yeah, when your expectations are so fucking low, they're right next to dinosaur bones. Even Jaws 3 looks like Citizen Kane. I'm also guilty of this, but guys, we gotta stop saying it was better than the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. I stubbed my toe this morning, and that was better than the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. But yes, I agree with you. I could smell the Diet Coke and Burger King all over the script, so yeah, George was definitely involved. I've never heard anybody utter the word a lickspittle, and in that moment, the moment I heard it, that I knew he was in on it, and I don't know how to feel about it, because George doesn't have a good track record for television shows. Great storyteller, of course, but there's a difference between writing a novel and writing a television show. So, we'll see. Next up we have Ian Reading Rainbow, who says, casual viewers are why Game of Thrones went downhill, because Dave and Dan did nothing but pander to them. Yeah, this is a weird comment because casual viewers are not the reason the last few seasons sucked. The blame here falls on a few people. Dave and Dan, of course, who couldn't write good original material post-season 5, but also HBO, who forced them to do 8 seasons instead of the planned 7 seasons they wanted to do. And George, too, takes some of the blame for taking so long to write the next series of novels. I think it's unfair to blame casual viewers who are just tuning in for a good time. Next up from my Discord, Paul, Smiling Friends is my personality, Marillion says, I like the colors, but opening with no new theme music along with no real standout music is very rough. I'm inclined to agree with this, kinda. It's the same guy who did the original show, so a lot of the music will be rehashed on some level, but yeah, nothing really stood out to me either. It's one of those reasons I didn't like Wheel of Time. The music was just so forgettable that I didn't really care that much, and that sometimes makes and breaks it for me. Take, for example, Iron Man 3. I really disliked that film, but I still remember the theme song from it, which was da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. So yeah, a good soundtrack really matters. Hopefully we get some good stuff later on. Next up is Greg, who says, the series nobody wanted. That's right, Greg. Nobody wanted this, which is why HBO not only broke records, but also had their servers crash from all the people not wanting this. Just like how nobody wanted this comment. Next up is Marcelo, who says, I actually preferred it to the Game of Thrones pilot. It took me a few episodes to start to enjoy Game of Thrones back in the day. I'm already on board with House of the Dragon, but maybe that's because I'm a fan of what came before. That's fair, but personally for me, Dave and Dan knocked it out of the park with that pilot. We recently did a rewatch commentary track for the Game of Thrones pilot over on my Patreon and YouTube memberships page, where Press and I both go into why it was so good. The pilot was just, I don't know, we felt like it fixed a lot of the issues we didn't even know existed until they did it in the first few chapters of the first book. And it was a very well-made television adaptation. By the way, for those of you wondering what that red circle is next to Marcelo's name, if I hover over that with my mouse, it shows us that he's been subscribed to my channel for 7 years. If your subscriptions are public on YouTube, then we can see in our comment section how long you've been with us. And I gotta say, I hope you guys don't mind if I get a bit personal for a moment. Seeing this person here after all this time makes me very happy. My man here has been with me through several girlfriends, 3 houses, 2 cars, and half a country away. 7 years ago was Game of Thrones Season 5. Obama was in office and I was 23 years old, which feels like a whole lifetime ago. But like I said, seeing you sticking with me for so long really warms my heart. So thank you, brother. I appreciate the support. Next up we have Alberto, who says, where was the Night King? You know, it's weird that you say that because the review copy I got from HBO, he actually makes a cameo. You didn't see him? Damn, that's weird because It's weird that you didn't see him. Hold on, let me see if I can... Hold on one second. Let me see if I can show you where he is in the version I got. It's like a blink and you'll miss it moment. Ah, there he is. You see it? He's right. He was right there. He was right there. But guys, that is all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching, and be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and ring that bell icon to stay notified for all future videos. Also, if you'd like to be featured in my next video, then I'll be releasing one shortly after the premiere of episode 2, so be sure to tune in for that and give me a small 2-sentence review of what you liked or didn't like. And please keep it short. I can't spend 2 hours on every comment, please. But guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you all next time. Have a good one.